What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do? What'll I do when I am wondering who is kissing you? What'll I do? What'll I do with just a photograph to tell my troubles to? When I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true, what'll I do? Ooh, what'll I do? What am I gonna do? My ukulele will not stay in tune tonight. I think I got to tighten some screws. But what'll I do? So it's a cappella evening. Thank you for asking, Dawn. I hope that Fafi is in safe. Yes, Fafi. Thank you for asking. I wanted to give you the update about our beautiful little puppy. She is fine. She's home now. She's recovering. She has some miles to go before she's hopefully back to her old self. Um, she's on a couple of drugs, and she's on a painkiller, and she's on an anti-inflammatory. So hopefully it all goes well. She's home. I got her home, so that was good. What'll I do when? What'll I do? What'll I do? Thank you for the suggestion. Try motor oil to get the ukulele to stay in tune. Did you hear that? It just keeps. They keep wherever you put them. They're doing their own thing. These nice new little knobbies. They have little. You can see they have little screw heads in them right there. So you need a little. I have a little screwdriver to do it. They're temperamental. I'm just telling you, this old one, this nice old Sherwood Gretsch ukulele from Brooklyn from the 50s or whenever. It's beautiful. It makes a nice sound, but the tuning, I don't know what happened tonight. Maybe the problem is motor oil. Maybe some motor oil got on the thing. La da 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 da. Try pulling on the strings and then retune. You mean pulling them from here? Like, it's just weird because I think those screws need to be tightened. It's a disaster tonight. I don't know. I want to just see what is. Let's hear an A. A string. No, the strings are not new. Let's just hear an A. A pitch. Come on, everybody, sing an A. An A 440. Boom, dum. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, tonight is an a cappella night. You know, tonight also I thought, how can I even do a show? Because it was a truly it was a bit of a marathon. It was an exhausting couple of days. Fafi got injured a little less than 48 hours ago, and then I had an all-nighter getting her to the hospital and getting her to the right place, and then a long drive home. And then this morning, took Hildy to school. Oh, I meant to bring it here. I have her diploma. Hildy graduated today. She graduated from puppy school from Manners 1. I have her diploma. I'll show it off tomorrow night. Oh, let me tell you a joke. This was a joke that I heard from a guy named Alan, who I was on a Zoom with the other day. I got to give him credit. Thank you, Dad. That was your idea to have a little joke. A joke a night. I don't know if we're going to do a joke a night, but I like this joke a lot, so I'm going to share it with you. This isn't like a joke that you would hear. This is a joke you would just hear from someone. Like, I heard a good one. Here it is. La da 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 da. So here's the joke. So a guy goes to get a job. He's being interviewed by the boss, and the boss says to the guy, this is a job interview. The boss says to the guy, what's your worst quality? The guy says, my worst quality is I'm too honest. And the boss says, I don't think that being too honest is a bad quality. And the guy says, I don't give a fuck what you think. I like that joke a lot. I hear crickets. I literally hear crickets. Oh, good. Okay, there's a laugh. Okay, 2 laughs. All right, that's good. Okay, so then I'll tell you the joke my dad told me, which another Alan, or his cousin Alan, told him. Here's this joke. A guy goes to a guy. Richard says, now the 2 skunks out back dug a hole, so I'm in the backyard feeding them. So you're feeding skunks. Okay. Oh, you called them trash rats. No, what did you call them? Trash something yesterday. I thought you were talking about raccoons, but you're actually talking about skunks. Okay, that's a different situation. What did you call them? Trash bandits. Were they trash bandits? Yeah, I think trash bandits. All right, here's the joke. Here's the other joke for tonight. So a guy, let's call him Goldstein. He goes to the judge. He says, I want to change my name. The judge says, why? He says, for business purposes. Oh, trash pandas. There we go, trash pandas. The judge says, why do you want to change your name? Goldstein says, for business purposes. What do you want to change your name to? Smith. She says, okay, you're Smith. The next week, the guy comes back. He says, I want to change my name. The judge says, you just changed your name last week. What do you want to change your name to? He says, I want to change my name to Jones. He says, well, why do you want to change your name to Jones? He says, in case somebody says, what? In case somebody says, Mr. Smith, what, Mr. Smith, what this joke was massacred when it was told to me. And now I'm massacring it in a different way. I have my doubts about this joke. Anyway, the punchline is basically, why do you want to change? You were just here last week. You were just here last week. You changed your name. Now, why do you change it again? Why do you want to change it again? He says, if somebody says, what did your last name used to be? I can say, it used to be Smith. Oh, God. Maybe I'm going back to my original opinion that maybe this isn't a good joke. I don't know. All right. There might be a way to fix it. Whew. Dawn, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Blue Lady. Fafi is doing all right. She's adjusting to her new situation. But somewhat coincidentally, or if not coincidentally, then at least fittingly, I listened to an episode tonight of that podcast I've mentioned before on this show that I really like. It's called This Is Actually Happening. The podcast produced by a company called Wondery. This Is Actually Happening is a podcast where you just hear people telling their stories in the first person. You don't hear any questions. You don't hear any prompts. It's just the person telling their story. And often it's extraordinary events, extraordinary challenges that people go through. And I would say the common theme of the podcast is that people go through these very challenging things and they come out the other end with some kind of perspective or growth or maybe even enlightenment. Um, it's really great. So, this episode happened to be about a woman who marries her high school sweetheart, and then the high school sweetheart ends up in a catastrophic uh, car accident and ends up in a coma and then ends up severely compromised. So he's in a neurology ICU. He's seriously messed up. Um, Now, why was this fitting that I was listening to this today? Because Fafi, her injury was a spinal injury. The prognosis is good that she'll regain. She'll regain. She has feeling in her rear legs, but at the moment she can't. She has no motor function. But given the position of the injury and the type of injury and the MRI and all the rest, the doctor is confident that over a few weeks she'll regain motor function and be able to walk, which would be great. And the encouraging thing is that she's already showing some little signs of improvement, which means things are moving in the right direction. And the other encouraging thing was that the doctor himself had a dachshund. As he told me, this dachshund sustained a similar injury and then recovered and lived and walked for another 8 years. Now, he said the recovery took longer than expected. They say, 2 to 4 weeks, but it can take longer. So that's what we're up against. Yes, Richard, I know about that. I know about those little chariots. So that's something we were exploring 2 years ago with our beloved Loki, the old guy who passed away. He was having some trouble with his rear legs due to degenerative neurological things that old dogs get. So we looked at those, but in the end we didn't do that. But we're not going to need that, and that's not recommended at this point in the process with healing up from a spinal injury. But yeah, those are amazing. Those are amazing. Those rickshaw chariots. Anyway, that's what's happening. She's home. She's eating. She's drinking. She's smoking. We're trying to get her to stop, but she's back to her old tricks. All right. Welcome to Acapella Night on the Nosho. Welcome to the Nosho. I am Ethan Hirschenfeld. That is me. That is I. I am he. That's me. This is the Nosho. It happens every single night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. This is my Hakeem Jeffries impersonation where he gestures on every word. La da 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 da. It's just a quibble. It's a quibble on his gesturing style he needs. I also offered my speech and presentation of self and acting skills tutelage to, I think his name is Lucas Kuntz, Kunce. He's running against Josh Hawley. I guess that's Iowa. Is that Iowa? Now, Kuntz, he looks like I can't even listen to his videos because he has a presentation that's he seems to overstress each word, and also he's accentuating the emotional subtext of each moment in his talks in a way that is over the top, and so it makes everything seem very insincere, even though I suspect that he's really a sincere guy. But he needs some help as far as reading ad copy and or public speaking. It ain't good. It ain't good. It just looks insincere, even though I assume it is sincere. the guy's a Marine, and um, he's running against a craven lunatic, that guy who gave the fist bump and the salute to the January 6th insurrectionists, and then a few hours later was seen on videotape fleeing for his life. That guy. So he's running against that guy. Lucas Kuntz. Take a look at his ads. See if you agree with what I'm saying. It's just, it looks insincere. You know who also has that a little bit? He's much better from a presentation point of view. But Newsom from California, he has a way of overdoing it. It just seems slimy. I like him. I like a lot of things about him. He seems like very self-possessed and articulate and convincing and all that. But if he would just tone it down, the smarm, you can see it. It just seems to be dripping off of him, which is not disqualifying. It's just something I don't respond to. Is it correctable? It is correctable. That's sort of overdoing it. You would just coach someone on an imaginative exercise of, instead of imagining when you're saying what you're saying, instead of imagining that you're speaking to, 100,000 people, get the person to, just through an imaginative exercise, imagine that they're speaking to someone who's a friend of theirs, and that the friend is actually maybe even leaning over to listen to them, so they don't have to work so hard. So it's a friend. You have their complete attention. You could work as a director of that sort of performance. You could work on just little imaginative tricks like that to get the candidate, or the whoever it is, but in this case, a candidate, to get them to just relax and be a little more genuine seeming. And again, I'm just talking about how it seems, because I do assume the guy is genuine, but it's not coming across that way. It's also a question of, eye contact, or you could work with someone. You could get someone who's an actual friend to be behind the camera, so you could be talking to a friend. I don't know. I have all kinds of ideas, but I offered my services for free in some sort of a message on social media or an email, and I didn't hear back, because I think they have a team of people who work with them, and they think they know what they're doing, and they might, but in this case, it ain't looking right to me. But I see someone says so Blue Lady says, you've sent money to Kuntz. He needs it. He does seem like an amazing man. That's what I'm saying. He seems genuine, but he needs help with those presentation skills. Now I have to go down that YouTube rabbit hole. Yes, you have to go down that rabbit hole. Dawn, I'm sorry. One thing that was fun today, I went from puppy school graduation up to the hospital, and I had Hildy with me. And when we were with the assistant at the hospital, walking down the hall to go into the exam room to then meet Fafi, I told this assistant that Hildy had just graduated, and we both started humming the na da 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 ya da 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 da, and we were really singing it proudly walking down the hall. That was fun, and congratulating Hildy on her diploma. Thank you, Blue Lady. I will send them another email and offer my services for free. Just because I want him to win, and I think this would help. Pomp and Circumstance, March #1. Thank you. I was going to say Pomp and Circumstance, and then I had a moment of doubt. So I didn't say it, but we all know the tune. I think it's famous from many places, but also from Animal House. It might play before the final credits of Animal House, when they have that text on the screen saying what happened to each of those characters, like Blutarsky, etc. I think that music is playing. Oh, I didn't look at the new episode of Lady in the Lake. maybe we got to watch tonight because I don't know if my scene has appeared yet. But Lady in the Lake on Apple TV. I think I mentioned that my scene is not with the star, Natalie Portman, but rather my scene is with a sheep. Yeah, I have to check it out and see if my episode aired yet. All right, what do we got, people? Does anyone have a suggestion or a thought? Without my ukulele tonight, I'm a little bit at a loss. Richard asks, "You're not drowning in a lake, right?" I can't tell you. No, I'm not. La, let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. This is a song by Leo Friedman from 1910. Words by Beth Whitson. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love. Yes, Neuro, I do have another ukulele, and that's the one that's very easy to tune, and it's much newer, and it's in Brooklyn. It's a mere 292 miles away from where I'm sitting right now. But I will be on that ukulele in a few nights. I'll be back in New York. So, and then we'll work out the kinks in this one. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep the love light glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. La 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 la. Nuro says humidity. I understand. I think that's you just saying that your eyes are getting misty from my singing. No, I know what you mean. You're saying the humidity is causing challenges with the tuning of this little instrument, and that very well may be. Let me call you sweetheart. 1910. Leo Friedman and Beth Whitson. I want to look up Leo Friedman and see what we know about composer Leo Friedman. American composer. Oh no. Again, one of the first things that pops up is some sheet music from a, one of those racist minstrel shows. Oy. So much of this old music has some connection to that horrible tradition. He was born in Elgin, Illinois, Friedman, and died in Chicago. He was born in 1869, died in 1927. He's best remembered for the sentimental waltz, Let Me Call You Sweetheart, with lyrics by Beth Whitson. Another popular composition of his was Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland. And then he wrote a popular ragtime song, which I won't mention because it's part of that terrible tradition that I referenced. Leo Friedman, that's him. And now let's see his lyricist, Beth Slater Whitson, an American lyricist born in Goodrich, Tennessee. She was the daughter of John Whitson and Anna Slater Whitson. She began her songwriting in Hickman Country. I don't know what that is. Maybe Hickman County. My gosh, she composed the lyrics to over 400 songs. Best remembered for Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland and Let Me Call You Sweetheart, both becoming one of the largest selling songs in sheet music. All right. Well, look at that. Her first major hit, Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland, really became known in 1949, so 40 years later, when it was featured in the movie In the Good Old Summertime. Look at that. That's a Favorite of our show in the good old summertime. Graphite helps. Add a regulated pernambulum to each peg. Okay, thank you. I like a little bit of technical mumbo jumbo. That never hurts, and it's always entertaining. Ah, la 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 la. Yes, that is a long distance relationship with that other ukulele. All right, we learned a little something there. That's a good song. Oh, this is a really good one. This one we really like. Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. But that one needs the ukulele. A lot of these, By the Light of the Silvery Moon. I mean, they're just not as much fun without the ukulele, I would say. Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun? Not much money, oh, but honey, ain't we got fun? The rent's unpaid, dear, we haven't a car. But anyway, dear, we'll stay as we are. Even if we owe the grocer, don't we have fun? Tax collectors getting closer, still we have fun. There's nothing surer. The rich get rich and the poor get poorer. In the meantime, in between time, ain't we got fun? That's a good one. Ain't we got fun? When the heck is that from? That sounds like a Depression era song. Maybe it's a little earlier. Every morning, every evening, 1921. It's pre-Depression. It was first performed. Oh, we talked about this. The Fanchon and Marco Review satires in 1920. Every morning, every evening, ain't we got fun? That's a good one. Oh yeah. That is a good kazoo song. That would be a good kazoo song. Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. Okay. I'm bereft without the ukulele tonight. But honestly, I was so exhausted. I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this show, episode number 380 or whatever it is? But we did it. We've done it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your eyes and your ears and your noses and your taste buds and your sense of feeling. Thank you for all of that. I named my dog after a song that turned out to have, oh, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. Do you want to tell us the name of that dog? La 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 la. You could pick your nose. We would love it. I don't know how to pick a banjo, but I know how to pick my nose. Little Liza Jane. That's a sweet name. I have these friends who made a movie, and the movie was called Our Idiot Brother. I think I might have mentioned this, but there's a really cute thing in there where there's a dog named Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is the dog, and then there's a very very cute romantic little coda or punchline in the movie where he meets someone who has a dog, and it based on that other dog's name. It's basically like you can tell it's kismet. It's worth taking a look at that movie. It's a funny comedy. Our Idiot Brother is the title. It's from about 15 years ago. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Jill. Thanks, Dad, Richard, Neuro, Jill, Blue Lady, McJet, Dave in LA. Everybody. If I missed anybody, Please forgive me, McJet. All right. I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'm going to get out my all my tools and lubricants to get this ukulele back in tune. All right, have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.